Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians and guests. In 2003, Ian was the brainchild and champion behind the Rotary Public Speaking Contest. I've still got music, eh? I'll have to speak louder, I guess, right? No problem. Ian felt it was necessary to help instill public speaking skills at the elementary level. So by doing the contest, that would give those skills to the children for their lifetime. In the years afterwards, Ian was an integral part of the public speaking contest until his passing in 2009. The testament to the value of the Rotary Public Speaking Contest lives on each and every year by the executive and all the club fully supporting it. It's now in its 16th year. Ian served as a president, he served as an executive member, served as a committee chair, and volunteered on countless Rotary projects and events. Ian was an integral part of the club, and very much the motto, service above self, he lived. Ian's remembered fondly by many as a friend, as a father, as a husband, and a co-worker. And for Rotary, probably one of the best bad joke tellers ever. So with that, there will be a special surprise I think Jed's going to give you when he comes up here. So at this time, I'd like to call Leanne up to take over.
My pleasure this afternoon to introduce our speakers for the day. First, some thank yous and some recognition. I had the privilege of being a member of a panel of judges for this speaking contest. The other two judges today, unfortunately, were not able to be with us. So I'd like to thank Cheryl Hoshizaki and Janet Wilkinson for sharing their time and their expertise. Their combined considerable experience in the education field, I'm sure you would agree, certainly enhanced the adventure for all. We had very difficult decisions to make. All the contestants were most worthy, as you will hear shortly. This year, we had a significant change in our contest as we were fortunate to have the expert assistance of Kendra Saville. Kendra's with us here today. As Rotarians, we are well aware of Kendra's efforts with Shelter Box and her generous spirit. Kendra's also an active member of the Toastmasters of Dryden. When I approached Kendra to ask if she would consider visiting the students as they prepared their speeches for the contest, she enthusiastically agreed. Kendra visited each of the schools and shared her expertise and enthusiasm for the purpose of public speaking in the real world today. She embodies a perfect example of how the skills the students acquire will be useful in their lives ahead. I'm sure the speakers here today will agree that Kendra was a very important help to them as they created the speeches that you will be privileged to hear in just a few minutes. Thank you, Kendra. Their parents are with them today. Thank you for coming. We acknowledge your support, and we're sure you're very proud. You should be. There are also two very important people I'd like to thank at this point, and that would be Mrs. Lindsay Darling, who's with us here today, and Mr. Joe Hart. Lindsay and Joe are the teachers of these accomplished young ladies. They have worked tirelessly to organize, encourage, and support this day. We all recognize your initiative and dedication, and this day would not have happened without that. And unfortunately, Mr. Joe Hart is, as most dedicated teachers, very busy. Today he is coaching on the volleyball court as we speak and could not leave his team. Mrs. Jennifer Rathwell has come to represent St. Joe's School as well. And now, the treat we've been waiting for. I would like to introduce Riley Makala of Open Roads. She has some pearls of wisdom for us this afternoon with her pitch for perseverance. Riley?
If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. This was a quote by Martin Luther King that talks about perseverance, and that's what I'm here to talk about today. So let's start off with a question. What is perseverance? Perseverance is determination at working hard regardless of any obstacles and not giving up. It's staying committed and having patience and endurance. Perseverance also involves having courage and having the willpower to continue. Perseverance is a really important character trait for you to have a successful life. If every time we did something and we didn't try our best and never finished what we started, then we wouldn't get very far in life. Having perseverance helps us take new risks and develop new skills. Someone who has perseverance will see that they've failed or that they've made mistakes, but they'll bounce right back up and try again. There's a lot of people who failed at the first attempt, and if they hadn't have kept perseverance, they wouldn't be well known like they are to this day. Take Walt Disney, for example. Walt Disney has merchandise, movies, and theme parks all around the world. But he didn't just give up once he failed. He kept motivation. He was first fired by a newspaper editor because he said he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. After that, Disney started a number of businesses, but they didn't last very long and ended with bankruptcy and failure. Even after failing so many times, he stuck with it and he eventually became very famous. If he would have gave up after he failed, none of us would even know who he is right now. There's so many more people who didn't succeed at first. Michael Jordan, Katy Perry, Bill Gates, just to name a few. Their failure was the key to their success. It is what helped them become smarter and learn so much more. By learning from their mistakes, they continued to do better and better each time. Dale Carnegie once said, "The most important things in the world have been accomplished by people who have kept on trying when there seemed to be no hope at all." Throughout my life, there's many times when I've just given up. And now I think about it, and I wonder what my life would have been like if I'd kept trying. What would all of our lives be like? Yes, there's so many people who do stay determined despite the difficulty, but there's so many more people who don't. People who stop trying once things get tough. And at times, I can be one of those people. There's a lot of things you can do to have perseverance and stay motivated, so I'll give you some tips. For first, you have to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect to accomplish anything? If you want to accomplish something, you have to tell yourself that you can do it and keep reminding yourself of that. Secondly, take action. Whatever you dream of achieving, take action and just start doing it. Don't worry about what might happen, just try your best and don't be afraid of failure. It'll be hard at first and you most likely struggle, but through it all, you have to keep moving forward. Next is clarifying your goals. Know why you want this goal and how you or others will benefit from it. Make your goals realistic and try your very hardest to achieve them. Break the goal into small steps and watch every day as you get closer and closer to that goal. And lastly, even if you fail or make mistakes, just accept them and learn from them. Everybody fails. As long as you're trying your best, it's okay to fail. Every time you don't succeed, get back up and try again, and don't let anyone or anything get in the way.
I'd like to present this award to you. Riley is the third place winner for the city. Congratulations, Riley. Thank you, Riley. And now, if I could call upon, also from Open Road School, Fiona Cook and her thoughts about the power of music.
Music can change the world because music can change people. Scientists have shown many ways on how music can benefit you emotionally, academically, but also physically. Music is the medicine of the mind, and I'm here to talk to you about that today. Many people think that music is just the sound, but it has a lot more meaning to it than that. It can tell a story. One of my favorite artists, Ed Sheeran, writes his own songs. He says that every word that he sings has a meaning to it. Ed provokes passion within the listeners. For example, the song Castle on the Hill that he sings, it's about his childhood memories. Or the song Photograph, which has so much power about his relations between the people that he loved. You could really tell that he put all of his feelings into these songs to make them enjoyable to the audience. And that is what music is supposed to be. Emotion in music affects people in a very positive way. Research has shown that music stimulates emotions through specific brain circuits. From this, they experience an uplift in their mood, making them happier. Music is great for provoking emotion, and it can really help people in need. Another way that music can benefit you is academically. You might be thinking, how can music make you smarter? All it is a sound. Well, you're wrong. A study at York University showed that 90% of children between the age of 4 and 6 that had a musical background had a higher verbal intelligence than those who had no musical background. Other research showed that music lessons improves a much higher IQ and academic performance in young children, whether they learn to sing or learned an instrument. Music education at an early age stimulates the child's brain in a number of ways, including verbal skills and visual skills. Some of the most famous musicians of all time were Beethoven and Mozart. Their IQ was both 165, which was 65 points higher than the average IQ at the time. Music has a large benefit on your IQ score, and that is how most musicians come out being smarter than those who have no musical background whatsoever. So there, music can benefit you in many ways academically as well. You may be shocked by this, but music can provide many health benefits along with academics and emotion. If music has a slow tempo, low pitch, and no words, it can reduce stress and anxiety. Music can ease pain and make you calmer if you are hurt or in a hospital. Regardless of what type of music, listening to your favorite releases endorphins in the brain, which helps improve your vascular health. It can also help people with Alzheimer's recall lost memories or even help them maintain some mental abilities. In Finland, researchers found that when stroke patients listened to music for 2 hours every day, their verbal memory and attention improved, and they had a much more positive mood. Music benefits your health greatly, so why not kick back, relax, and listen to some tunes. Music can empower you in many ways, which makes you stronger emotionally, academically, and physically. I hope that you will find this speech and music to be inspiring. The next time you listen to music, whether it be going to a concert, listening to a choir, or even just listening to the radio, consider what it's doing to your day, your brain, and your mood. And who knows, maybe you too could become the next Ed Sheeran or Mozart.
Fiona is our second place winner for the city. Congratulations, Fiona. And now if I could call upon Caitlin Barahoki. She'd like to talk to us about over-involved parents.
Andrew Carnegie, a well-known Scottish-American industrialist and considered to be the second richest man in history, once stated, "You cannot push anyone up a ladder unless they are willing to climb a little themselves." Hello, my name is Caitlin V. Harioki, and I'm a grade 8 student at St. Joseph's School. My parents allow me to learn from my successes and mistakes to move forward in life. I believe without a doubt that parents must step back and stop being over-involved in their kids' lives. First of all, kids need to learn how to be independent. Also, parents controlling everything about their child's life is a setup for failure in the future. Lastly, kids must learn from their own mistakes. First and foremost, children must learn independence and can't do so if parents are always doing things for them, when really they can do these activities by themselves. They can't develop independence if that's how they grow up. In an article I read, it stated that youth with helicopter parents often get anxious whenever faced with a challenge they have to solve on their own. This is a result of their parents always telling them what to do and how to do it. They don't learn self-reliance, so they don't feel confident in their ability to handle the world. Secondly, when helicopter parents micromanage their kids' life, it sets kids up for failure in the future. They often don't develop the proper social skills needed for when they become adults. This will affect them in the workplace. A study showed that youth with over-involved parents often lack competence and struggle to receive gainful employment. They could become devastated from constant failure and won't know how to handle it. All because their parents teach them that everyone's a winner, and these kids often grow up thinking they're the center of the universe. Out of 1.8 million youth, 1/3 of them are unemployed because they don't possess the life skills needed for a job. Without a job, they could have financial issues and become homeless or have to live with their parents forever. Helicopter parenting is increasing and becoming more and more common. If this continues, it'll mean certain disaster for future generations. Finally, kids must learn the consequences for their actions and cannot do this when parents are always the ones making all of the decisions. It is crucial children learn from mistakes, because if they don't, they will grow up thinking they can get away with anything, which is not the case. A clinical psychology research paper showed that the way people view their mistakes dictates how well we are able to learn and progress. Those who obtain the ability to recognize and learn from their actions will succeed much faster when faced with challenges. Others will wallow in their mistakes and won't know how to deal with consequences. Helicopter parents don't want their children to face failure, but if they don't, their life will become increasingly more difficult. In conclusion, over-involved parents must stop hovering over their children. Every child needs to learn independence. Also, helicopter parenting will negatively affect a kid's future. And lastly, kids must be able to learn from their actions. I challenge you today to stop and think of what might become of our world if helicopter parenting continues to become the norm. Thank you.
Caitlin is the co-winner of first place for the city. And now I'll call upon Kira Graver. She wants to talk to us about something we're all very interested in, 3-day weekends.
In the US, they did a study on what causes teens to stress. 45% of stress with teens was, and still is, from school. Think about that. Hi, my name is Kira Graver. I am 13 years old and I'm a grade 8 student at St. Joseph's School. I am here to tell you why we must have 3-day weekends. I have had 2-day weekends since I was in kindergarten. If I have a big test or lots of homework, I will get anxiety and feel stressed. No kid should feel that. With 3-day weekends, you'd be healthier, you'd get a better rest, and the students' grades would improve. First and foremost, you'd be healthier. Going to school 5 days in a row is stressful and can cause anxiety. Too much stress can actually be harmful to your body and even kill you later on in life. Not only is the stress bad for you, but sitting down for long periods of time at school is very bad for your heart too. Scientists did a study on 2 similar groups. Their diets and lifestyles were a lot alike. They compared people that sat for most of the day versus people that didn't. The people that sat for most of the day were twice as likely to get a heart disease. We sit down for long periods of time at school, which amounts to 5 out of 7 days a week. At the end of the week, you have sat for roughly 25 hours. 25 hours. Secondly, a shorter week also allows students to get a better rest. Studies of children in Canada and several different countries have shown that one less school day results in students able to fall asleep quicker at night. They also reported that they feel much more refreshed when they wake up in the morning. Teens aged 14 to 17 require 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Are you reaching that during the week? I bet you only reach that goal on the weekend. So you only get 2 out of 7 days with the proper amount of sleep that you should. Getting proper rest prevents students from burnout and improves students and teachers' moods. Lastly, a 3-day weekend improves students' academic performance. I interviewed my teacher because he can see the various effects on the students and their grades. He agreed with me and gave me some really good reasons. He said students don't absorb as much knowledge as they should be after 4 days, and that it's good to give your brain a rest. Research shows that when students only go for 4 days, their students' averages have improved, math scores are higher, and the students' attendance is better. That extra day of rest allows students to return to school focused and more productive. In conclusion, I strongly believe that this idea will greatly affect the future of education. When I surveyed my class, 88% of the grade 8 students agree with the idea of a 4-day school week. It is clear to me that the students would support the idea, and the research that I have done confirms that it would be a positive change. It appears that when students go to school for 5 days, it does not allow them to reach their full potential. Other schools that have switched to shorter weeks resulted in students and teachers feeling much happier when they are in school. With 3-day weekends, you'd be healthier, you'd get a better rest, and the students' grades and attendance would improve. I challenge you on your next 3-day weekend to spend quality time with your family or friends, engage in activities you enjoy, or even take advantage of that extra day of rest. See how good that makes you feel. That could be every weekend. Who wouldn't say 5 days of school is way too much? Thank you for your time.
Here's a co-winner of first place for the city. If you could stay, please. And Carolyn.
On behalf of my father, Ian Nixon, I'd like to present to you this award. Congratulations.